Emily. Happy to be
Yeah.
here.
Well, glad to have you here. This is really exciting because Bill 206 has been so intentional about the services y'all provide. For those who may not know, just briefly tell us what Bill 206 is all about.
Yeah, Bill 206 is Brothers United in Leadership Development. Our main mission is focused on issues that impact Black men and boys, but we know there's intersectionality with that. So we know that impacts our women, of course, other folks, really bringing the community together. So we really focus on Black joy led events and activities and overlaying that with information, voters' rights, labor rights. Um, and what I'm here to talk about today is our Build Black Wealth initiative.
Yeah, well, this is like what, like second round of this, and you all have really been, I think, establishing yourselves in the community as a major resource. Tell us a bit about this program.
Yeah, so I'll talk about it. Started last year. We had got some resources, and we really wanted to inject them out into the community. And then, our experience navigating accessing resources, we wanted to make it a very simple process. So we injected thousands and thousands of dollars into the community. But the Bill Black, one of our key pillars of the Bill Black Wealth program is the incubator program, where we give money to Black-led businesses and organizations. So a lot of time you have to be a nonprofit or have a fiscal sponsor. We eliminated that process. So people that want to start businesses or have businesses or organizations, some organizations aren't nonprofits, right? That's a barrier to access. So we worked with a lot of organizations. Some folks have been on your show, so Def Chef, Acts on Stage, the Postman, a number of other organizations. So we had 20 organizations and businesses, Black led, that came through our initiative last year, and they all got $1,000 in resources as well as workshops and mentorship around businesses. And we had like 12 workshops throughout the year, from health, life insurance to estate planning, all the way to health is wealth. Like, making sure that you're taking care of your mental health, your well-being, because yeah, you can make all this money, but if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not grounded, it's all bad. But also investing and debt management, uh, dealing with your finances, talked about QuickBooks or other, tools that are free, like Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Voice, things that are free. So I had trainings and provided resources for those. And then it's not just the people who are part of the program. Those are people who got the funding, but also we opened it up to the community to come to these workshops as well, and provided those resources and the information. Also, like, we recorded most of our workshops, and the PowerPoints and everything are up on our website, so people have access to that information.
Wow. I mean, talk about really bringing it to the people, Dre. I mean, this is so necessary. When you think about the evolution of Bill 206 to get to this point, tell us a bit about what it means to you. Because, I remember connecting with y'all, and y'all were like, all right, look, this is what we're doing. But you've grown in that regard, because really you're about servicing the community, and it's clear. Tell us a bit about how that lands on you. Because obviously, a lot of folks know Dre as like one of the main leaders of Bill 206. So it's got to be really impactful for you as well.
Yeah, it's definitely impactful for me, and we try to have like a flat leadership model. Everybody has a voice, so I can't do what I do without the team that's around me, and vice versa. So really, and that's really, I think, something that's unique about our organizations. We really friends. We really rock with each other, really care about each other, really check on each other, make sure things are good. So I just feel like it's my duty to get access. If I have access to resources, it's not about us hoarding those resources. Um, it's really an opportunity to remove barriers, and then have the platform that we have access to funders to have those conversations around, this is what our community needs. We need time and energy to be able to spend time with each other. We need time and energy. That's why we focus on Black joy events, bringing people together, especially in the face of gentrification when we're being dispersed all over the place. That's really, really important. So we don't necessarily see ourselves as a service provider. We more see ourselves as a convener, and a group that tries to give access to our community however we can. So however we can, re-leverage it. So I think, to answer your question, it makes me feel good. It fills my cup to be able to provide resources to the community that I grew up in, that I love. And I mean, it's all due to us anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is our money, it's our resources. It's just us getting access to it and then re-injecting it into our community and trying to remove the unnecessary barriers that a lot of these institutions and organizations create.
Yeah, we know barriers are alive and well. So it's necessary for us to be able to do it relationally. And that's what I'm always talking about, because there's a difference by an organization that's led by somebody who really understands the ins and outs of the community. It's because you are our community member that you understand certain needs, right? But even in that regard, you still have a heart of service of going into the community to still check in with them. Am I sure that this is what y'all need? Tell me if y'all need something else, right? And that's really important, because we have to be able to shift and change with the needs of the people, and really stay connected and committed, I think, to that entire approach with all of this. So I appreciate what y'all are doing over at Build 206. And I see you everywhere. You're out in community. You're always connected. When you think about this next level of the incubation program, tell us the ins and outs of it, the logistics. How do people apply? Like, how long are the programs? What can they do to access the maximum amount of resources you all can provide?
Yeah, so last year we provided $1,000 to each organization or business Black led. And we're doing the same thing this year. It's actually up to $3,000. So we're incentivizing some of the workshops for the people who get awarded. Just people have things to do. We got to pay people for the time and cover things. So we want to make sure that the cohort is strong and stays together, because also there's a lot of learning that happens within the cohort, right? And it's not and we learned a lot of stuff through this process dealing with different organizations and businesses as well. And so there'll be 5 workshops that people will participate in. They'll automatically get $1,000, and it's like $400 per workshop. They'll get $100 immediately when they finish the workshop, and then at the end they can bank that extra $300, and they get up to $1,500 at the end. So it's a total of $3,000. The information is on our website and all of our social media. You can find us on social media at Build 206. Across all platforms at Build 206, and then build206.com/Black Wealth, or Build 206, or reach out to us, admin at build206.com. Application is fairly simple, kind of an overview of what it is, 5 or 6 questions. Are you a Black led organization or business? Yes or no. Do you operate in King County? That's the other thing. So you have to operate in King County. You don't have to be housing King County. So your business can be in Everett or Tacoma outside of the county. But if you're doing any type of business within King County, we want to try to expand the opportunity. So last year we had 265 people apply, 265 businesses and organizations apply. We were able to fund 20. This year we're hoping to expand that, and then as we get that information, we're able to connect with those folks and, hey, we got a kickball event or back to school event. Do you want to be a vendor at our event? So it's not just about us giving the folks, the 20 or 30 folks that we're funding. It's also, how do we connect people to community to come have fun, bring your kids, come play some kickball, but also, hey, if you got a service or a product or something that you want to provide that's appropriate for our community that you want to provide, we have a lot of events that we can overlay that. And then part of what we're doing now is we're going to be rolling out. We started working with Dancing in the Rain Media, which is another one of our incubator program participants. We've been recording podcasts with a lot of participants last year. So it's an opportunity to share their stories, have a platform to get that information out to community so we can support. A lot of times we just don't know who's doing what in our community. So how do we get this information out? How do you provide a platform for us to make that happen?
Yeah, this is phenomenal, Dre. 265 applicants. I mean, you're talking about a large need here. And I love that Bill 206 is stepping into that need and providing the resources. What does it look like on the other side in terms of approval process? For those who may be looking to apply, how can they try to maximize their application to ensure that they're providing the information that is necessary, maybe to get them through so that they can be a participant?
Yeah, I think we don't get into the word game. So I think people being authentic about what they're going to use the resources for, why they're applying for it, answering the questions. And then, also we're going to value folks that are able to commit to being part of the cohort. It's not necessarily a deal breaker, but we want to get the doses. We know it's important to be able to give people as much information as possible. But just knowing how RFPs and grants work, normally it's like really a word game, and you got to get a grant writer and spend all this time. We don't want to make it all laborious. We want to say, hey, this is what I do. This is what I'm about. This is what we're going to use these resources for. We're Black led.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And then how do y'all make the decision? You have a panel that goes through the applications. What does that look like on the
yeah, we
inside?
review them. Talk about it, and then we make a decision. We, come up with the recommendations, and then we announce, reach out to people, and then, sometimes like last year, some people we reached out to, they had other commitments that they had to partake in, and so we kind of work the list from there. So like I said, we try to make it as holistic as possible, and then also, us being so connected in community. We know a lot of folks that are already doing a lot of stuff. So and we're telling people, hey, you need to apply, make sure you get it in. So all of us have our own network. So we're telling people, hey, make sure you apply for this resource. And like I said, the money is a small thing. It's really about how do we build community, how we provide that mentorship, especially around business or organizational operation. We try not to, our focus is really being culturally relevant, but we're also understanding that we're operating in a Eurocentric white supremacy culture environment. So people need to understand about your taxes. You need to understand that you need to, have a budget. You need to understand how to do these types of things, especially if you're talking about building wealth. You need to know how to play the game the way the game is designed. And a lot of it is having a safe place for us to have conversations about money in our community, because schools aren't teaching this. Sometimes our parents have been excluded from these types of conversations. So we're not getting it at home. So as a community, how do we come up with opportunities for people to have safe, open conversations, ask questions about stocks and insurance and debt management and interest rates and home ownership and different types of things without feeling embarrassed or I should know this or whatever, because the schools aren't giving it to us. And like I said, a lot of our parents and this community have been systematically excluded. So that's the overarching thing, is how do we create space for folks. Some folks are going to get awarded resources, but doesn't mean that if Trae didn't apply and she wants to come to a workshop that she's interested in, she can come to a workshop.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys are really being intentional about all of the different ways to layer it, which I think a lot of programs don't always do. I mean, you just described a bunch of different ways to make sure that they can be vendors, they can be on the podcast, they can share their story, they can get their business out there, even if they don't get to do the incubator program itself. And I think that that's really necessary too, as we think about how we need to customize it, opening up the door to really allow for that access to be there for businesses so that they can participate in the ways they can. So phenomenal work, Dre. Of course, you already said it, but I got to give you time. Look right there. Let folks know how they apply, how they connect with Build 206.
One more thing I want to add is we also have a partnership with Seattle Office of Labor Standards. So we're able to provide that information to people who run businesses as well as employees in the city of Seattle. So that's been a huge resource for this incubator program as well, as to be able to have those trainings and opportunities for us to share that information. So once again, my name is Dre. I'm with Build 206, Brothers United Leadership Development. You can reach out to us on any social media platforms. It's at Build 206. Hit us up on our website, build206.com, to apply for the Build Black Wealth Incubator Program 2.0. Applications are open now. They close on February 12th at 5 p.m. and then we'll have a decision in the next 60 days and we'll get the things rolling. So I appreciate you guys providing a platform for Black folks for what we're doing in here. Well, we definitely know Black media matters, and we appreciate what you guys are doing for our community.
Thanks so much, Dre. Thanks for being with me.
For sure.
Oh my goodness, you all. It has been a great episode today. I want to thank all of my